This next one, the vulnerability conflict. A lot of people talk about being vulnerable in your marketing, right? I think this starts to conflict for people because it starts to go from being productive and helpful to being very, very unhelpful and almost destructive. Okay. I see a lot of posts of people sharing everything is so hard. The current plan that I'm following is really tough. I don't want to work today, but I'm going to do it anyway. Tons of negative stories and experiences. And then some of the deepest and darkest stuff that people share blows my mind sometimes. Okay. When we talk about vulnerability, it's fine and opening up and sharing, authenticity and realness and whatever other words you want to spin it with. But do it to, there's a typo there that's meant to say lift others up. Do it to lift people up, right? It's like going down a little dip to launch up. It's not a therapy session for you on a Facebook post to go into your deepest and darkest and the things that you're constantly struggling with. Because if you spend all your time sharing shit like that, you're going to attract those people, right? You're going to bring more and more of those people around because everybody is looking for an opportunity to bitch, moan, complain about how hard life is. Everybody wants that because if they can do that, they get to spend time doing that instead of actually working. Okay. So don't be the person whose content comes across as, complaining, negative, uninspiring. What we need to be lifting you guys up as leaders, and this kind of shit brings you down into the absolute, mess of everybody who's trying to do the same thing, wants to play the victim, and it's not helping your brand. Okay. Be vulnerable, share your stories, all that kind of shit, but do it in a way that lifts people up and is positive. Okay. Right. People remember these things. People are looking for someone to look up to. People want solutions. They want leaders. They want inspiration, and they want someone blazing a trail. Okay. They want someone out there, with their sword, cutting down whatever and leading the way. They're not going to buy from someone who sits around the campfire with them complaining about how tough the world is. They'll do it and they'll shoot the shit with you and they'll do it for hours on end because they'd rather do that than do the work, but they won't buy from you. They'll buy from the person who, grabs the torch and walks forward. So you got to decide which one you want to be. A caveat here, I'm not saying be unrealistic and lack authenticity. I'm just saying think about the mood that you're bringing to your people, to your content, to your brand. Does it inspire them to action, or are you just giving them the remote? Let's sit down and watch telly together and do nothing. You can be vulnerable, but don't use your content as a daily therapy session to complain about how hard everything is and how you'd rather be off doing other things. You need to use it as a way to light the path for people. Hopefully that makes sense. Couple of points to touch on. Share your stories, but talk about how they contributed to your growth. Okay. Don't come across like you're complaining or moaning about what you do. This is going to push people away like crazy. Like from buying. People will still engage and they'll moan with you because they want to, but they're not going to buy. They're going to be the wrong type of people. Okay. There's a ton of negative shit out there already. There's a difference between being polarizing and being negative. Polarizing is where you take, a very stern stance on something. Negative is where you're just, again, constantly recycling the same problems and complaints and just creating this like pity party. You just don't do it, right? Don't look needy. Don't complain about lost sales, leads. Don't play the victim. This kind of shit doesn't inspire confidence and leadership, right? It helps people feel good because it's like, oh, that's my problem too. But unless you then turn that into a positive and present a bigger and better solution, that's all it's ever going to be. Okay. Share your wins and results. They don't have to be monetary. We're going to talk about this in a bit more detail. Share solutions that you found to different problems, mixed with a story of what led to it. Show you're out there trying things. Show you're out there blazing a trail. Show you're a leader and how you're doing things differently. Okay. Share your stories. It's fine, but let's not turn Facebook into a, therapy session where we bring up our deepest, darkest every day, or, we get a real time kind of gossip session about the latest, lead who ghosted you or whatever, right? Like, let's think about, I'm a leader, this is my business, and I need people to want to follow along and want to take action on the stuff that I'm giving them. And in order to do that, I might need to keep some of the, some of these stories in the holster.